No doubt. Well, here we are together on this final Sunday in April. And if y'all recall, we started this month by considering the lyrics of the song Zippity Doo-Dah as sung by Uncle Remus in the Disney movie Song of the South. And now that we're here at the end of April, I'm sure that we would all agree that even if a song didn't fall out of our mouth even once when we opened it this month, and even if we found ourselves saying, my, oh my, what a day, more often than we said, my, oh my, what a wonderful day, still. Doesn't it seem that April went by zippity-doo-dah? Which is to say, like the snap of our fingers, quick as a bunny, in the blink of an eye. But only we individually, for ourselves, can answer if it went by in a blur. As we've said so many times, if we don't notice our life as we're living it, if we're not grateful to be alive every day, if we don't look around us and within us with awe and wonder, then we can't truly say that we're living a life, not in the way that we're created to live life. Growing and expanding in the joyous awareness that we are a living miracle with the freedom to create a miraculous life, one grateful moment at a time. The poet Emily Dickinson wrote, "If you do not enjoy a moment, you lose it forever. If you enjoy it, it's yours forever." In any moment that we experience joy, we could say that we add to our vibrational escrow. We grow it. We expand it. It's there for us in its fullness to fulfill all that we desire and then some. Joy has the highest interest rate because our joy is our inner being's total interest. Our inner being, the soul of us, the spirit of us, the source of us, the God of us, the love of us, is the unlimited inside to our not as limited as we think outside. Right now, this outside has an unlimited inside. It's who we are, even when we're having this diverse human experience. It's the non-physical to our physical. It's a package deal that we can't live without, and we're not even for a moment. In the way of the heart we read, "Let therefore that life alone be your guide in all things, and rest in appreciation before the infinite mystery that life is. And say yes to it. Say yes to life. That you are willing to let the fullness of all of it wash through you and carry you into an ever-deepening understanding and comprehension of all that God is. Our inner being focuses on all that we desire to see and know and do and have. It knows us. It knows our heart. And it knows every beautiful thought that we have ever had. And it conspires for us to experience all of it. Within us is a vibrational vortex of universal energy. And we don't have to understand what that is or try to figure it out. All we need to know is that it is, and that it contains all of the good we have ever asked for, prayed for, or desired. It's all there. It's the holy vibration of creation creating on our behalf. It's love itself directed our way. We're never alone. No one is ever alone, not even for a moment. Whether our desire is for greater health or happier relationships or more financial ease or just to be able to do what we want to do, even if all that we want to do is rest, our inner being wants that for us too. And it becomes the vibrational answer. And then it guides us to the physical experience of whatever it is, through feelings of happiness and peace, through feelings that feel good. Have you ever played the game with someone, probably when we were kids we did, where someone hid something and then you had to find it, and so they'd let you know if you were getting closer or farther away by saying warmer or colder? Yeah, well, that's what our inner being does. When we care about how we feel, it's easy to follow our inner guidance. It plays the same game with us through our emotions. The directions are simple. If it feels good when we think about it and focus on it, it's good for us, because it's going to bring about what we want. And if it doesn't feel good when we think about it and focus on it, then it's not good for us, no matter what that thought is, and it's not going to bring what we want to us. We feel what we feel in each moment, and whatever we feel is okay. But if we ignore the emotional guidance that feeling is offering, we'll get what we get even if we don't want it. Now, if we were to think back on this month, it's likely we would remember events and situations and encounters and conversations that caused us to either feel very good or very bad in some way. Strong emotion, whether it feels good or not, gets our attention. It doesn't pass by us unnoticed or unacknowledged like more subtle feelings might. When we're not fully present in the moment, when we're not all in right where we are, our day may seem uneventful because we're not consciously responding to each moment. We're busy, as John Lennon wrote, making other plans. Plans for a future we worry about, plans to do our to-do list, or we're thinking about the past and what we've already done and that already done list. We may go through the motions of getting things done in the day until the day is done, and then wonder to ourselves how it passed so quickly without our being aware of the gift of being alive all day long. And yet, all the while, without even noticing, often without even caring, we were still creating our life with the thoughts we were thinking. The spiritual teacher Alan Watts wrote, when you get rid of certain fixed concepts of how the world is, you find that everything is much more subtle and much more miraculous than you thought. Which brings us to the title of today's talk, 50 Shades of Oneness. Now, I mentioned last Sunday that my talks for the month, often months ahead, just pop into my mind. But this one was suggested to me by a friend. And even though I didn't know what a talk with that title might turn out to be about, I knew that it had lots of possibilities the moment she suggested it. And as I prepared it, this is how it unfolded for today. We all know, or at least we've heard, that we're the sole chooser of our choices. And even if we choose what someone else wants us to choose, that's our choice. We're the only decider of how our life goes. Even if we decide to let what someone else thinks influence what we decide. Today, I'd like us to consider that we are the definer of our life. To look at our every thought we hold in our mind as if it's a charcoal pencil that defines the world we see and live in. Eckhart Tolle, if you recall, wrote, "Remember that your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. You are not separate from it, and there is no objective world out there. Every moment, your consciousness, our thoughts, create the world that you inhabit." We could say that every moment is like a vast sheet of clean art paper, and that we shade it in with our state of consciousness, with the thoughts that form images in our mind and then become what we see in the world. We project our artwork outward. And though we always remain one with our inner being, who knows that we only ask for good things, what we experience as our life is defined by how much of that good we allow in, how much of that good we define for ourselves. Our opinions and our judgments, created over years of repetitive thinking, over and over and over and over and over again, create heavy lines in our mind. And those lines and the darkness of them make it difficult for us to see anything that is more subtle and more miraculous than what we've already thought. But every moment is new. And because we're the chooser and the decider and the definer of our life, we can decide to soften our attention to those things that cause us not to feel good and not to see miraculously. We can choose to diffuse those thoughts and things that feel heavy to us when we think about them and when we focus on them. And we can decide to focus on those things that cause us to feel good and light and free, because we're free to do just that. So how do we do that? How do we become better at choosing what we want to experience? By asking ourselves in every moment, what do I wish more for? To have an opinion that feels heavy but right? Or to have an intention to feel good and be happy? For example, maybe someone, even a friend, is rude to us, and it doesn't feel good when their words or their actions, and we don't like it, and it doesn't feel good to us. And we could focus on that, and we could blame them for how we're feeling, and then we could feel bad for days. But if we thought about it, we'd know that person didn't feel good either, because it doesn't feel good to any of us to be rude or mean or thoughtless or critical. We know because we've been in a mood to be rude and it didn't feel good. The good news is when any of us feels that way, behaves that way, our inner being looks the other way, so to speak. Because joy is the focus and the intention of our inner spirit. How could it be otherwise when it is the pure, positive energy of love? Now, in the Old Testament, the really Old Testament, in the book of Habakkuk, oh, you don't hear that one often. No. We read, "Your eyes are too pure. They do not behold evil, and you cannot look on wicked men." In other words, only the positive, never the negative. Only the love and nothing else. And thank goodness for that, with some of the thoughts that have crossed our mind, right? Well, I'm the only one saying right. Yeah, I'm happy for that. And thank goodness for a moment that we didn't enjoy. Thank goodness that we lost that moment and we don't have to reclaim it. It's gone. In this diverse human experience, we all have an outer self that has opinions. We just have them. We have a lot of them. And we get to choose whether we're going to focus on our opinions and hold tight to those opinions or not. And whatever we decide, we behave accordingly, and we have that experience. And we all have an inner being that is always guiding us to just lighten up so that we can see the subtle and miraculousness in each other. There truly is only one inner being, one soul, one spirit, one source, one God, one love. And it's expressed through 50 bajillion shades of oneness. We're all having a relationship with that one, all of us. And it's always focused on the pure, positive nature of all of us. It's all it can know or has ever known about any of us. We read in A Course in Miracles, I have drawn you with an everlasting love. The source of our life is always focused on what we want. And all of us, no matter how we behave, we want something good. Even when our thoughts and our actions and our behavior make our minds so dark with judgments and opinions, we can't see the light in a particular moment. We came into this world of this and that so we could use the charcoal pencils of our mind to create uniqueness, not to draw ugly pictures of each other. We can all be and do and have anything that we choose. And we don't have to choose the same things. We don't have to mimic each other. We don't have to agree. Diversity and free will is why we're here. We can decide to appreciate rather than evaluate and criticize each other. All of us, no matter how much of it we're using, all of us can cash in our vibrational escrow in any moment we choose to let it in. In any moment we make room for the pure positive energy of love to flow into our awareness, that moment is a moment we want to savor. Our happiness increases. We discover we have more creativity. Our interactions with our family and friends and even strangers are more harmonious. Solutions come easier. Projects go smoother and more quickly, and conversations flow with ease. In such moments, we don't even want to let our mind drift to some unpleasant past event or to some future worry. We want to savor the moment and seize the outcome. Our days are meant to be rich with the awareness that we are a living miracle with the freedom to create a miraculous life, one grateful moment at a time. If we make that our intention, we won't let one moment pass us by without consciously choosing how we want to live it. When we let go of our heavy opinions and our fixed concepts of how the world is or how the world should be, we realize that ultimately every living being is here for the same purpose. And it's only good. And every being, no matter what they appear to be doing, is being guided by the one source of love that knows what their purpose is. When we know that, when we become aware of that, then we discover that everything is much more subtle and much more miraculous than we thought, including ourselves. Namaste. All right. Well, this is the time of our service when we get to say thank you. I want to thank everyone here. I know how wonderfully you're supporting our being here and our being together. I want to thank those of you who, as they say, watch remotely. I like to say live stream, because I know that many of you are supporting us too. And thank you for that. And we're doing stuff after service today. We are so excited about the shaking up the energy and letting it move through us and seeing where we land and it lands us as we move forward in this journey of newness together. And if you would like to feel a part of that, if you'd like to see us here or somewhere else, then it requires financial support. And again, thank you for all that you've given. And I'm speaking to anyone who wonders how they can support LEC, support the journey. You haven't figured out how yet. And our wonderful treasurer has so many ways that you'll figure out a way if you want to. Here's Dr. Jamie Phillips.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Whew. Let's double down on some gratitude today. How about it? Okay. And here's how you can help. You can go to facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center and hit the donate button. You can go to our website, lecflint.com. There's a donate button on that site. You can donate to us via PayPal, and our email address to do that is lec2512@gmail.com, or you could just send in a check. Don't forget to put the stamp on it. And our P.O. Box is Life Enrichment Center, P.O. Box 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532. Whew. Those are remote ways of donating. In the sanctuary, we're going to be listening to Daniel Namad and Nemo Patel singing Grateful while we take an offertory, and then Reverend Stephanie will be back for gratitude prayer. Thank you.